Okay, so here's a little story. When I was very young, I was completely fascinated by 3D movies. Now, nowadays you have full-time, 1.5 hours movies, digital. But in those days, when I was young, because I'm now 55 years old, when I was young, this was all very simple, very short, but I was completely fascinated with it. And I remember even the first time they put out a transmission in 3D on TV. Those were the old CRT TVs. And I was sitting there in my pajamas watching this. And even though these were almost only geometrical shapes that they did, and it felt like they would blow up the CRT screen, like it was bulging out. And you needed in those days, remember this? In those days you needed one of these glasses because they were more or less two images and you had the two different colors in your glasses, and somehow it gave you the idea of 3D. Now after this, of course, they got into the actual 3D. But before I move on to that, these computer animations, especially the ones that Pixar made, was something that I was very fond of, all the way right from the beginning. So this is the actual VHS tape that I bought from their very first shorts. And these were shorts because in those days the computer power and stuff like that, it was not enough to make a full feature movie. But every year they got longer and longer and longer. Of course, VHS was followed up by DVD. So when these came out on DVD and they had a little bit more, oh, he wants to show himself too, it's the same. And of course there were already more movies, so these DVDs had more movies than the original VHS. So of course I had to have that. And after that, of course, I switched to it with even more movies on the Pixar Blu-ray discs with all the short movies on it. Don't know if you have seen any of these, but if you know this is one of my favorites. Just make sure to check it out if you want, if you like. But these Pixar movies, they were a joy and they were getting better and better. The humor is good and I just loved these things. And I wasn't only into computer animation, I'm into a lot of animation. So one example would be this. Let me know in the comments if you remember this one. This was shown, I believe, 3 times a week, and I knew exactly at what time these were 1 or 2 minute shorts, but I was completely blown away by this concept of one line drawn, and well, you have to see it for yourself. Let me know in the comments if you know this one. I have another one right over here, still looking for number 1. I have 2 and 3, but I'm still looking for number 1. I love to watch this. And then of course we got into Blu-ray and especially into 3D. Now the Pixar movies, especially because nowadays this is Disney, they are expensive, almost never on sale, and in 3D they are especially expensive. But now when I found a very, very good offer, these are all new and these are all 3D, all Pixar movies, not all Pixar movies, but these are all from Pixar, and because of the good price I had to pick them up. So I'm going to show you what I picked up. One of them is Up, a very nice movie. The thing with Pixar is they have great animation, they have a lot of good humor in there, and the storytelling is absolutely fabulous. So this is 3D. the movie Up. I don't know if you have seen it, but I think this is especially a movie that will do 3D justice. So in here we have the 3D version, we have the 2D version and a bonus disc. Now most of these movies have 3 discs, just like this. So I picked up I picked up Toy Story Part 4. I didn't have this one on Blu-ray yet, so that's also a bonus that now I have the 1, 2, 3 and 4 complete on probably every format available. But in 3D, that's something that was high on my wish list, and now I have it. Incredibles Part 2. I wish they also had Incredibles Part 1, but they didn't. But Incredibles, I love the Incredibles. This is wonderful animation, wonderful humor, and this is also very good for 3D viewing. So if you haven't watched any of these yet, I'll invite you to make sure to take a peek at them. Maybe you like them also. Then there is, of course, Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc. is such a wonderful movie. This is about daily life from monsters. It explains why are there monsters in the closet. And of course there is the wonderful Boo that is really bringing this movie home. I love this movie. And now in 3D, there's a few scenes in here that I am sure, I haven't watched it yet in 3D. There's a few scenes in here that will be absolutely amazing in 3D. And then of course we have a lot of the, wait, let me start at the bottom right here. Toy Story. Toy Story was the first feature-length animation movie, and it was from Pixar, and I absolutely loved it. I have seen this movie so many times, but never in 3D. Well, I've seen it in 3D in the theater, I believe. No, not this one. But now I'm going to watch it in 3D. This is still one of my favorite movies, even though it is already a bit older. This is still amazing stuff. Then of course we have Toy Story 2, the wonderful Jessie coming in there. These stories are such good stories. The humor is good, the animation is incredible, and this is something I really love to watch. Toy Story 2. Of course, you need to have Toy Story 3 with the wonderful Buzz Lightyear on the front. Of all 4 movies, this is the one that is my least favorite, and in some parts it gets a little bit scary, not for me, but there were some parts that I thought, wait a minute, is this still a children's movie? It's becoming a bit dark at some places, but the animation is getting better and better throughout all these movies, and I gotta have this. I gotta watch it on 3D. And then of course there is the wonderful Finding Nemo. This is also a very good story. I like it very much. The animation is wonderful, and this all takes place of course in the big ocean. So this is also one of those releases that is probably very good for 3D viewing. Finding Nemo. And of course, because of the popularity of Dory, I guess, the next thing was Finding Dory. I love Dory. The way they have portrayed her, the way she talks, the way they animate her. This is just really wonderful stuff. So Finding Dory is now also in the collection. And there's one thing I have to ask you guys, because I know this is a channel about audio and coffee, and it is not a movie channel, but I'm also a big movie guy, an animation guy, so this is also a little tryout to see if you guys like these kind of movies. So let me know in the comment sections below if you want any more of this, because I also have a very big movie collection that I want to show you. So let me know. And this is it for today. I'll see you next time.